What is up, duelists? Arts and Crafts here, bringing you your daily dose of Yu-Gi-Oh! GOAT format action. Today's feature match, we've got Infinity 2K26 versus Pulse Slim. As always, both players rated in the top 200 of the Dueling Book GOAT format ladder at the time this match was played. Let's hop right into it. Looks like Pulse Slim won the RPS. They will be going first. They're going to lead out with a Thunder Dragon, so some classic Chaos action for everyone today. And they're just going to set a back row pass, so not the strongest opening, getting a little bit of deck thinning thanks to the TD. But besides that, nothing too crazy. We'll see if Infinity can punish the relatively empty board. We're going to get normal summon Sangan. All right, getting aggressive here is a good way to punish the opponent's slow start. Start chipping away with the level 3 critter and set a back row pass. All good. Pulse Slim is going to go set a monster here, so again, something in the way of the Sangan is nice. We'll see if Infinity has like a knock or anything to continue to push on through, though. We got Giant Rat. Okay, so something interesting here that Infinity is running. Main deck Giant Rat is seen in stuff like Burn decks, Earth Aggro decks, Rescue Cat decks, things like that. We're going to get Cat attack the set monster, which is just a Dekoichi. So Pulse Slim here seems to be just on typical Chaos or Chaos Turbo, or maybe Chaos Control. Rat's going to kill the Dekoichi. It will cycle for a card, but this will pave the way for Sangan to get in for another 1k worth of damage, which is pretty nice. Smartly attacking with the Rat first as well, especially into an unknown. 1,000 defense is a pretty common breaking point here in the format, so Sangan unlikely to get over it. So definitely the right call there to make sure that they can at least pressure for some damage. Pulse them here a little bit on the back foot. Nice aggressive start from Infinity, but still at 6,000 life points, so could stabilize relatively easy from this position, depending on their cards. Still unable to cash in their Thunder Dragons, though, which is weighing down their hand a little bit. Oh, looks like they do have some Chaos live here. Chaos Sorcerer is really, really strong in this exact scenario. It's a very solid counter to both Sangan and Giant Rat. Summoning it in defense as well so that Infinity can't crash in with either of those guys or like additional recruiters that they might be playing. Interested to see what Pulse Zone chooses to banish here with the Sork effect. I guess probably Sangan because that's the easiest. Like, there are easier ways to deal with Giant Rat, like you can pop it with Raigeki breaks and stuff, whereas Sangan, it'll always float unless you banish it, right? So I feel like you probably just want to get the banish off on the Sangan. If Sork lives long enough to banish the Giant Rat, you're probably fine. But Sangan is going to get banished, yeah, as expected. And just going to add a back row pass, but Sork coming down nice and early, starting to kind of pressure Infinity, remove their board. So looking good for Pulse Slim at this point in time. Infinity follow-up play is going to be Giant True Nade. Okay, so maybe a little bit of combo stuff here. I guess this could just be a burn deck. Could be a Rescue Cat deck. We're going to bounce all of those back row. Pulse Slim here seems to be on the Chaos Control strategy, though. So we're going to Chain Scapegoat. Very good against these sort of combo-y decks, unless it is just burn, right? So Pulse Slim potentially gamble here. Infinity could be setting up for like a nice Gyakugiri Panda or something with this True Nade, in which case Scapegoat plays right into their plans. Or if it's like more of an OTK Rescue Cat sort of deck, maybe this is fine, but usually Rescue Cat decks also play Gyakugiri Panda, so Scapegoat Chain here might be a little bit of a double-edged sword. See if Infinity can punish at all. We're gonna go, yeah, so they do just have Gyakugiri Panda. And so yeah, Scapegoat not really doing too much here, being an active detriment. Interested to see Infinity probably just kill the Sork here. And keep the goat tokens around. Oh, we're gonna go for maximum damage here over a goat token though. Okay, interesting. So we're gonna hit them for 2,300 plus the 300 from destroying it, so 26 total. It is a big chunk of damage, I guess. Oh yeah, sorry, these are goat tokens, right? These are not Ojama tokens. I'm so used to Panda attacking Ojama tokens. But these are just straight up 0/0 Go tokens. So this is just full 3,300 damage here from Pulse Slim. And now Ring of Destruction is just game. And Pulse Slim might have just killed themselves. Okay, well now Rat killing a token actually turns Panda too low for a ring kill. So Infinity likely does not have that going for them. But yeah, Pulse Slim Interesting call when you see Giant Rat to just shotgun the Scapegoat in response to the Giant Trunade. Because Panda is a real risk here, and Infinity getting a pretty massive punish. Now, they are leaving the Sork on board. Oh no, we're going to snatch steal the Sork. Okay, so we are not leaving the Sork on board. We're going to steal the Sork, which once again powers the Panda down, but that's totally fine. There are probably arguments to just Sork banish itself here, because Pulsum has such a large number of cards in hand that they probably have a way to out the snatch steal. So if you just want to be safe, you could just go snatch the Sork, banish itself, and that's what Infinity's going to do, playing nice and conservatively. I definitely like this. You still have a lot of pressure here. Panda is at 1800, so you don't have lethal on board, but you got to deal a ton of damage to your opponent, and you have a massive life point advantage now, which is really strong. Gonna set a back row here that was probably what they bounced with the Trunade, and pass turn in a very decent position. Pulsum still has tons of cards in hand, but we know 2 of them are Dead Thunder Dragons. So interested to see if they have any way of preventing this onslaught. Pretty cool game so far. Ooh, we're going to get draw phase Ojama Trio to completely lock out Pulse Slim. 2 goat tokens, 3 Ojama tokens. So we all have to do a good job to remember which ones are which, right? Pretty cool though. So full goat lock with the help of the scapegoat, and yeah, resolving that scapegoat for Pulse Slim seems to have been quite the mistake here. Yeah, when you see Rat, I feel like chaining scapegoat is probably a mistake. Yeah, like chaining scapegoat to a giant Trunade when you're playing against like a reasoning gate. Now that's good value, right? Because then it forces them to have like Tribe or Lightning Vortex or something. But into a deck that is running Earth monsters, it's a little bit rough. And now Panda is massive here again. So you can see why Infinity was fine clearing out all of those monsters. They wanted to, even if it was powering down their Panda, because they wanted to free up 3 more spots so that they could go ahead and activate this trio and fully lock Pulse Slim out of any sort of monsters. And now Panda represents lethal once again, now that it's back up to 3,300 attack. Could just attack over a Go token for game next turn, so Pulse Slim needs to find an out here, otherwise it's just going to be GG very quickly. Okay, they do have a little creature swap action, so Rat will probably head on over to Pulse Slim's side of the field. What is going on? A lot of misclicks. Oh yeah, you can't. Well, no, you can't. You can change that the turn it gets summoned. Yeah, you definitely can. That is a thing. Yeah, in GOAT format, you can change it because your opponent summoned it, not you. That is the rule. Yep, hopefully they figure this out. Judge actually showed up, which is nice. There is a difference in who summoned it, unfortunately. Yeah, got to. I have to agree with Pulse Slim and the judge here and the ruling side on GOAT format. Sorry, Infinity. Okay, now we can go ahead. Another GOAT format specific ruling is that you can crash 0 attack monsters together. So the Ojama Trio tokens are both going to crash. Both players should take 300 damage from this. So this will drop Pulse Slim down to 2,400. So Panda is still going to be lethal. Although, yeah. Oh, and then making room. Okay, so yeah, nice play here for Pulse Slim. Going for the creature swap to give the opponent an attack position trio token, then crashing them, which you couldn't have done otherwise. I mean, I guess you could have crashed a token into like the giant rat, but you'd have taken a lot more damage, so not worth it. But either way, the goal here is to free up a monster zone slot for the Tribe Infecting Virus to come down, and now you can call Beast and wipe the entire board, which is really strong. Yeah, discarding one of those Thunder Dragons in hand, so finding a way to get value off of that. They will take 300 damage from the last remaining trio token getting killed. But completely wiping the board here, removing the threat of lethal is really nice, and Infinity will be left with just 2 cards here to try and create a second wave of offense. Yeah, really, really massive turn here for Pulse Slim. They will survive at 2100 life points. They have a back row here as well. They have Tribe on the board to clock Infinity. And now they need to rebuild, as I was saying. Let's see, though. You're going to go normal summon Des Wombat. Yeah, so I think this must just be a Rescue Cat deck because regular Panda Burn. Like, these are all cards that you could just see in Panda Burn, right? If they just didn't draw, like, their normal burn stuff. But Panda Burn generally isn't main decking Des Wombat. That's definitely more of a Rescue Cat target sort of card. So Infinity is likely on the Cat combo. And now we can go Des Wombat Crash with the Tribe, which is pretty good. Tribe is just a really nice card, you know, as we saw. Infinity's deck has a lot of beasts in there. Rescue Cats, Pandas, Giant Rats, Miles Radiance, Des Wombats. I think these are all beasts. So we should start calling Rescue Cat like Beast combo or something, right? Get some more tribal representation in the metagame format names. But Wombat here, gonna crash with Tribe, removing that pretty significant threat. Ooh, but Pulsum just has the Mirror Force to protect it. So still just a 1-for-1. So not the end of the world for Infinity in terms of card advantage, but keeping this Tribe on the board is going to make Infinity's plays a lot more awkward going forward because they need to pretty much deal with the Tribe immediately before they summon anything. Now the board is clear here for Pulslim to start beating in with this Tribe, which is pretty nice. Get hidden for 16, drop him down to 61, set a back row pass. Cool. Infinity here needs to find some offense. Otherwise, they'll just get slowly whittled down. Just draw pass, though. Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing with these combo decks sometimes, especially when you're low on cards. You just do not have the gas. And so now Pulslim is in the position where they want to just kill Infinity as quickly as possible before Infinity can kind of draw into some more stuff. We're going to go Tribute Summon for Thunder Dragon. Okay. Interesting play there because it doesn't improve your clock at all. And getting a Light Engrave, I don't think really... Or getting a Water Engrave doesn't do anything for you. So kind of an interesting choice. I mean, I guess it makes like Secret Barrel a little bit worse. Oh, we're going to go Metamorphosis. Okay, nice play here. So we're going to Tribute Summon for the Thunder Dragon, swapping out our level 4 for a level 5. So then we can Metamorphosis probably into... Yeah, we're going to go into Dark Balter. That's the most common level 5 meta target in the format. Pretty nice. You can negate spell cards. Rescue Cat generally plays stuff like Last Will. So being able to negate that with the Dark Balter is pretty solid. Now you only have 2 activations of the Dark Balter effect, which could be a little bit scary. But it could be nice if Infinity is running stuff like Death Koalas and things like that. That's pretty unlikely. I guess it's good against Giant Rat as well. So it does out a lot of the potential draws that Infinity could have. Rats, some of their combo starter spells. And it's just a 2k clock, which is kind of nice as well. Still a 4-turn clock here. But pretty solid. You did spend a lot of cards doing this. You went Tribute Summon plus Metamorphosis. So this is like a -2 play overall. But it's an investment in this Dark Balter, hoping to speed up the clock and also, remove a lot of options from Infinity with its 2 pretty powerful effects. So we'll see if this investment ends up paying off. They get to hit in for 2k at least once. Infinity here has 4 cards in hand, so has spent a little bit of time to draw up into some more things. See if they can make a play. They're going to fire off Delinquent Duo. Okay. That does speed up the Dark Balter clock by a turn, but Duo is pretty good, so I definitely understand using it here. Good time to use it as well if you were holding it. I wouldn't be surprised if Pulslim held on to that for a while because there were just the 2 Thunder Dragons. Or it wouldn't be surprised if Infinity held on to that for a while, since they knew Pulslim had the double TD in hand for a long time. But now that they've gotten one out of the hand, Duo is guaranteed to hit at least 1 real card, unless it's like a Sinister Serpent or something. And we're actually just going to negate the Duo with the Dark Balter. Okay, so Infinity, yeah, interestingly presenting the option to Pulslim of, do you want to negate this Duo? So signifying that they have some good stuff in hand that they want to protect, but now going down to 1,100 life points in order to do that. So they have 1 more Dark Balter activation, and they're just like super duper low. So we'll see if this is worth it. Hopefully Pulslim, you have to make use of the cards in your hand. Otherwise, you put yourself in a pretty precarious position. Say that 3 times fast. Infinity is going to go set a monster, set a couple back row pass. Trying to just get some stuff in the way of this Dark Balter. Infinity would be on a 2-turn clock otherwise. And you just want to cling on until you can find some sort of combo to deal the last 1,100 points of damage. Pulsum's going to draw for turn. We'll see if they had some Haymakers in hand that were worth protecting with the Dark Balter. Heavy Storm is a good one. Okay. clear out both those back row, clear out your own snatch steal, but there aren't a lot of good snatch targets in these rescue cat decks, so that's totally fine. You hit a bluff set Giant Trunit and a bluff set Last Will, 2 cards that would have probably gotten negated by the Pulse Slim, or by the Dark Bolter if they came through. So nice little 2-for-1 there for Pulse Slim, recuperating some of the advantage. I mean, and yeah, Dark Bolter also helped him plus as well by negating that duo. So the investment, the pretty heavy Tribute Summon into Metamorphosis play that was invested in this Dark Bolter is now being recuperated because it's set up for a valuable Heavy Storm, and it got to eat up a card with its own effect. Still at 1,100 life points, though, so if you can't kill Infinity this turn, you're probably a little bit scared. You are in death from ring range as well, because Infinity's still at 3,100 life points. Ooh, Pulsum has the knock here, though, to banish the set. Oh, it's Big Shield Gardna. That's actually pretty huge. So Pulsum trying to go for the knock to hit in for 2k, but Infinity has the Big Shield Gardna set here, which will negate the Nobleman and present a wall here, preventing Dark Bolter from getting in any damage. Pulsum will need another monster to attack into this Big Shield Gardna to turn it into attack position, but you're going to be taking a lot of damage for that pleasure. Right, even if you attack with the Dark Bolter, you're taking 600 damage, dropping all the way down to 500. So pretty risky. Big Shield Gardna coming in super clutch here in a position where Infinity needs to stall out as much as possible, and Pulsum is very low on life points, so it's kind of even harder to deal with. Also getting the plus by negating the knock as well is really solid. And yeah, Pulsum here does not have a follow-up monster to get through this Big Shield, and Infinity can just sit on this for a while unless Pulsum finds an out. Infinity's just going to draw a set of back row pass. We're going to hit end phase MST to pop that, but that's not an out to the Big Shield, so that'll stick around. Ooh, hitting the Just Desserts is nice. Yeah, Pulsum correctly recognizing that they're at the point where a lot of burn cards will put them very, very close to death or even kill them. Just Desserts would not have been lethal in this scenario, but Pulse Slim needs to play multiple monsters to get around this Big Shield Gardna, in which case Just Desserts starts getting better. So Pulse Slim probably happy that they were able to snipe a burn card with that MST before it could go off. Let's see, though. Just going to draw a pass, yeah. Really struggling to get around this Big Shield. Infinity just gets to continue to draw more cards, which is scary for Pulse Slim. Going to set a monster pass, okay. Pulse Slim has Metamorphosis. Okay, so we're saying, you know what, Dark Bolter was the wrong level 5 to play. Let's go for something bigger. Or, I guess, is Dark Flame Dragon that can attack directly? No, we're just going to go into another... We're going to go into another Dark Bolter just to get a Dark Engrave. Okay, well, I guess that's a way to deal with Big Shield Gardna, if you have a Sork or a BLS to banish it. Kind of a funky play. You can see why Metamorphosis is not always a great card. It is quite a large resource investment. And so using it just to get a Dark Engrave is quite card advantage negative, but it can be worth it depending on what they're able to play. We're going to go slam BLS. BLS is really nice here because... I mean, I guess you don't really care too much about potential set monsters here, because if it's like a jar or something, Dark Bolter can just negate it by attacking over. BLS here can deal with both of these monsters pretty easily as well. So is the play interested? The play could just be BLS attack over both, Dark Bolter get in for 2k. Or no, you probably do Dark Bolter attack this one in case it's a jar. BLS attack the Big Shield Gardna and then attack directly. So you get to deal 3,000 damage. You get to negate any potential effects from that. If it's a second Big Shield, that does kind of suck, but then BLS could just clear them out. And you can afford to take the 600, so it's not the end of the world. And I guess the last card in hand, or no, last card in hand is not Thunder Dragon. I guess it's an unknown. All right, so yeah, we'll see Dark Bolter probably attack the set monster. Nice play. It's a panda, sure, so just using it as a chump blocker. And then BLS will get in for 3k and clear out the Gardna. And now Pulse Slim here has dropped Infinity down to 100 life points. They have no Snatch Seal, but Ring for Game is a thing. Secret Barrel and Just Desserts both do not kill at the moment, so Infinity doesn't have too many outs here. Panda doesn't do anything. Rat probably doesn't do anything. You really need some, like, pot into Graceful into whatever stuff here, I think. And yeah, Pulsum has been able to, they spent a lot of resources, like I've been saying, but they created quite a formidable board here. They even have one negation of a spell card left, the Dark Bolter effect, which is really nice. And so Infinity, not looking good. Yeah, so I mean, if Infinity just draws pot, you're just going to negate that with the Dark Bolter and it's GG. So I don't think Infinity really has any outs here. Unless they have Magic Cylinder. Magic Cylinder will go crazy. Infinity, let's see. What's the play? Yeah, just going to concede, not finding any out there. Pulslim had constructed a pretty formidable board, so not surprised. And yeah, game one is going to go to Pulslim on Chaos Control against this. Well, I mean, we didn't see any Rescue Cats out of Infinity, but we saw the Last Wills, we saw the Cat Targets, we saw the Burn packages, right? So I have to assume Infinity is running Rescue Cat. And yeah, Infinity did set up a pretty nice combo there, getting in the early Gyakugere Panda hit, but Pulslim was able to stabilize with the help of Tribe Infecting Virus and with the help of Dark Bolter, and was able to grind it out from there. So really solid advantage now for the rest of the match for Pulslim. Winning game one against these rogue decks is huge, and so Infinity is really going to be fighting uphill to get this match win now. They will at least be able to go first here in game two, which is pretty massive when you're the combo deck, because you get at least a turn of unimpeded stuff. We're just going to go normal summon Death Wombat, set a back row pass, so a little bit of aggressive of a start. Not the, most formidable monster, of course, but if you have something like a ring or a battle trap to protect it, it could be good just to use your normal summon and have something to represent pressure going forward. Pulslim here, see if they have any crazy busted Chaos Control openings. No, we're just going to set a monster, set a couple back row pass. So getting something in the way of this Wombat, but not much else just yet. We'll see if they have like Trap Dust Shoot or anything. Looks like a no. Infinity has the Nobleman of Crossout, yeah, so definitely makes sense paired with the Wombat. Get a monster on board, clear out any blockers with the Nobleman, and start pressuring the opponent. And you hit a Dekoichi, okay, so not the end of the world for Pulslim, but their Dark Count might take a hit there. Looks like they just have the one remaining copy in deck. Could have a third in hand, though. And this does clear the way for Wombat to get in for 16, so Infinity off to a decent aggressive start here. Applying some pressure to Pulslim. Not insane, but when you're trying to, alpha strike your opponent with Rescue Cat combos, which we presume is what Infinity is doing here, any little bit of damage helps to get them closer to lethal range. Ooh, then we have Level Limit Area B, which combos nicely with the Death Wombat because it's a level 3. So a little bit of a stall card here, which will, make it harder for Pulslim to mount any sort of defense, or I guess counter offense being the better term. Just make things that much more awkward for the Chaos Control player. Ooh, top deck duo out of Pulslim is pretty massive against these combo/burn decks. And they rip out a Last Will, so a key combo piece gone here for Infinity. Gotta feel pretty bad. And they're going to discard another copy of Last Will. Wow, yeah. So I guess double Last Will in hand with apparently no ways of triggering it, right? So we're just, I guess, all in on the Wombat beatdown plan at this point. Pulslim is just going to set a monster in the way. We'll see if that was like a level 4 or something, and level limit made it awkward. But Wombat at least will live to see another day. We're going to go Giant Trunade. Okay, clear out the back row. So are we going to get a little bit of a mini combo here from Infinity? Pulslim is going to chain Raigeki Break on the Death Wombat to clear out of the way. This is a 2-for-1 Raigeki Break, discarding Tsukuyomi, which is an interesting card in this matchup. But they will not be able to enlist the services of that spirit monster for the rest of the duel, unless they're playing multiple copies. Turbo decks generally will only play one Tsukuyomi, but you can see multiple copies in Chaos Control. Maybe not against like Rescue Cat, but in general, it's not the weirdest thing to see in more all-in control decks. But Wombat is going to get popped here. I mean, I guess the -1 isn't that big a deal because Trunade on its own is also a -1. But so the important thing is more just removing the potential pressure from Infinity with the Wombat hitting the grave. Trunade resolves, everyone gets their stuff bounced. Ooh, and then we have Stein. Wow, okay, so Infinity on a Cat Stein list. Cool. So we'll see if they have any cool targets here for the Stein. I guess we know the hand has a level limit area B. And I guess an unknown. Do you go into Gatling Dragon here? Do you just go into like Master of Oz? Some interesting choices. We're gonna see what they go for. Stein for Gatling Dragon, yeah. So looking to just get some damage in. try and pop this set monster. Could be a lot of things, so definitely want to play it cautiously. We'll see what they flip up. Single tails, heads. So one more heads is actually good to kill your own Stein. Just the one heads though, so probably just gonna pop that back row and then get in for 3,300 damage. So not the end of the world. Pop Faith, which does turn on Chaos for Pulse Slim, which is something that Infinity has to be worried about, but you are all in on this combo at this point, so you're just gonna have to go forward. And if they have Chaos, they have Chaos. You get to beat in for 3,300, so you do have a nice 2-turn clock here on Pulse Slim. And yeah, Pulse Slim probably not expecting the Stein to come through here. A very, very solid card at just catching the opponent off guard and going for these big combo plays like we just saw. And then Infinity is going to go, okay, we're going to go set a back row and then activate the level limit here to turn the Gatling Dragon to defense, but I guess more importantly, likely to make it harder for Pulsum to beat over this Cyber-Stein. It does prevent the Gatling Dragon from attacking in future turns, but you can use the Gatling still, even though if it's in defense position, to try and pop Pulsum's monsters. And then so maybe the idea is if you can't remove your own level limit area B, at least Stein gets under it, so you can use Gatling to remove the blockers and then Stein as a clock. Because the opponent is only at 2,100 life points, so Stein is actually a decent threat at this point in time. And Pulse Slim here has a pretty formidable board to work with. Any monster they play is at risk of getting killed by the Gatling Dragon if you can't remove it immediately. And level limit area B is going to make it that much harder to deal with these. Let's see what Pulse Slim has, though. Ooh, looks like they do have some Chaos here. Ooh, I think that was top deck Sorcerer, because I don't think they shuffled their hand. So pretty nice top deck there out of Pulse Slim. Sork will go ahead. It's going to banish that Gatling Dragon, and now Infinity's board is just completely in shambles for the time being. Now, if Pulse Slim can't find an out to the level limit, it will give Infinity time to kind of draw back up. And, you know, we know they're playing burn cards and stuff. So every card that Infinity draws is one card closer to killing Pulse Slim. So now we're at the point where you got a little bit of a mini combo off with your Stein, got to deal a good chunk of damage, and now you're just hoping to stall out behind this level limit and kill off the opponent before they can out it, pretty much. Pulsum's going to set the back row that got bounced to the Trunade before. And then Infinity, yeah, we're going to go Stein to defense, set a monster. A lot of scary stuff this could be. Likely this is a deck that runs Jars. Pulse Slim hasn't used a knock yet, though. So maybe has that card ready to go. We're going to just use Sork Effect, banish the Stein, of course. No reason not to. And set a back row pass. Okay, so Infinity, able to successfully hide around this level, or hide behind this level limit for a couple turns. We'll see if they're drawing into stuff. Every turn that goes by is 200 more secret barrel damage, right? You're only dealing, what, 800 at this point, but could get bigger. Ooh, and now Infinity gets to resolve a flip summon Cyber Jar, which is huge for any sort of deck that runs burn cards. And Pulse Slim's odds of winning this game just drop dramatically. Cyber Jar's going to wipe the board. We'll see what they both flip into. Yeah, we finally see the Rescue Cat, so confirming Infinity is on the cat stuff. They find some really good units here, too. Panda, Wombat, a Heavy Storm, a Rescue Cat, a Premature Burial that they can use at the moment to, like, grab another Wombat or something. I mean, I guess you could even go, like, Cat, Prima the Cat, do it again or something, right? I think you run out of monster zones in that scenario, but it is a decent play. And yeah, so really strong flip here for Infinity. Remember, it's still their main phase 1, so they can summon all these monsters, then go Heavy Storm, clear out Pulsum's back row, and then they still have, like, cat stuff to do. And all these monsters, except for the cat, of course, that's going to hit the grave, or get under level limit. So this is a really strong Cyber Jar resolution for Infinity. Of course, the deck is built to get maximum value from the Jar cards, so no surprise that they see, you know, a good stack here on their top 5. We'll see if Pulse Slim can match this at all, though. Otherwise, this might just be enough for Infinity to take game 2. Yeah, just summon everything in attack position. Ooh, and let's see. Not the best from Pulse Slim. They hit an MST, a Sakuretsu, and a Creature Swap, which are all a little bit too slow at this point. They do find one monster that can be summoned in Sangan, so that'll be a nice little wall, at least. And then they get a Thunder Dragon in hand, which is, like, fine, I guess. But yeah, just the Sangan here to deal with this pretty big board that Infinity just got. and I would not be surprised to see them just find a way to power their way through that Sangan and hit in for the last remaining points of damage. Yeah, so likely we'll see the Heavy Storm come out here from Infinity, wipe out the back row, and then Panda's at what, 1300? So you just win with Panda kill Sangan, Wombat kill Sangan. You don't even need to use the Rescue Cat effects because those two together is lethal. Right. So it's basically Pulse Slim, do you have anything chainable to the Heavy Storm? Otherwise, it's GG. The chainable can't be Scapegoat because you just lose anyway because of the Panda, like we almost saw in Game 1. Crazy, by the way, that Pulse Slim was able to win Game 1 after that catastrophic Scapegoat chain, by the way. And then proceeding to get trio locked afterwards. So really well played for them, honestly. I didn't give them enough props after Game 1, but digging themselves out of a very, very tough situation that may have partially been of their own design, but still battling back from that was pretty admirable. Here, though, looking like Cyberjar is probably just going to seal the deal here for Infinity. Yeah, the Storm comes out. Checking logs. Okay. We're going to chain Raigeki break. So we can break the Rescue Cat, maybe, to prevent... I mean, you need to break... No, I think this is just game, right? I guess it depends on exactly what Infinity has left in deck, but no matter which one of these you break, the other two can combine for lethal over this Sangan, I think. Because Cat can just grab other pandas. I guess we Panda plus Wombat at this point is game. So if you kill the Panda or the Wombat, Cat just grabs the other one. If you kill the Cat, these two together are lethal. So unless Pulse Slim has double Raigeki break, or like Raigeki break, I mean, Ring isn't even great, right? Because that damages yourself. You need like exactly double Raigeki break here to stay alive, and even that might not be enough. Because we know Infinity has like premature burial as well. Yeah, so we're gonna go RB, kill the Cat, chain trio, power up the Panda. Don't even need that. It's just GG. And yeah, this will resolve. Pulse Slim loses their Mirror Force, which is pretty massive. Heavy Storm, good card in these combo decks, right? And they might have had that set for a while. They just never got to use it because of the Trinades and the Heavies that came through. And yeah, now Panda plus Wombat is just enough for game. Panda alone is enough for game. Just attack over one of these trio tokens. Hit them for 1800 plus the 300 burn damage. And that is GG. Premature Burial. Yeah, I mean, whatever. This is all just for fun. Go for the Cat combo regardless. Infinity's just styling on him. Yeah, and that is GG. So Infinity takes down game 2. Got to, go first, use that to their advantage. Had the Stein that Pulse Slim was probably not expecting to go for a little mini combo to get Pulse Slim down into lethal range. And then followed it up with a very massive Cyber-Jar for the final combo. Pulse Slim will be able to go first here in game 3. But Infinity seems to be able to attack on multiple angles, so the question is, does Pulse Slim have enough room in the 40 post-side to side in things that can deal with all of the potential lines of attack that Infinity can go for? Pulse Slim here is going to lead out with a Delinquent Duo. Pretty good start. Feels bad for Infinity. They're going to lose a Milas Radiant, which is actually totally fine. Kind of a Garnet in this deck, so you don't really care if that hits the grave. And then you get to discard a Mystic Swordsman level 2. Okay. So Pulse Slim at least getting a nice little 2-for-1. You rip out 2 not super key monsters out of Infinity's hand, though. Probably hoping you hit more of a key combo piece, but, Duo is still pretty good. Then we're going to go set a monster, set a back row pass. So nice start there for Pulse Slim. Infinity still probably has some tricks up their sleeve, though. Going to draw for turn. Fire off Last Will. Okay, so we're going for a combo. We're going to go Rescue Cat. We just have the Will plus Cat. Are we going to go into Stein? Are we going to go into Panda? Are we going to go into Wombat? Let's see. We go into double Wombat. Okay. So just going for a little bit of a mini combo here. Oh, and then the Will effect will grab Exiled Force to go and pop this set monster, clearing the way for the Wombats to get in for 32. Let's see what Pulse Slim decides to do. Yeah, so you kill a Magician of Faith, which is pretty nice, preventing the duo from resolving again. Now, Mirror Force, of course, would be pretty good in this scenario, just to prevent the damage from coming through, but otherwise Infinity likely just going to get to beat in for 3,200 points of damage. Ooh, and then Infinity has Gigantes here as well, so we've got a little bit of Earth aggro action here. Now, you just get absolutely slammed by Mirror Force in this scenario. But, this is an all-in combo deck, so you probably can't really afford to play around Mirror Force. Clearly, they don't have any True Nades or Heavy Storms or anything like that. Otherwise, they would have led with that. And so Infinity, all in, going for big damage. This is 5,100 points of damage, which is pretty nice. Plus Ring on the Gigantes would be game, right? It would be game exactly, I think. My math is right. So let's see. Show me the Mirror Force, Pulse Slim. We have a Raigeki break. Okay, so we have to Raigeki break probably the Gigantes here. The Wombats are going to die, and it's obviously the biggest monster. So we're going to Raigeki break, discard Chaos Sorcerer. Oof. So 2 for 1 dealing with the Gigantes. You do get Chaos online engraved, but you just lost one of your Chaos monsters, so not sure how relevant that's going to be. You do block 1,900 points of damage, though, and remove Infinity's biggest threat, but you will take 32 from the double Wombat. Pulsum will drop down to 38, though, and Infinity will be left with just a single back row, and Pulse Slim might be in a position here where they can now stabilize. They do need to start clocking Infinity relatively quickly, and they did just lose a lot of cards, right? Faith is gone. They had to 2 for 1 souls with the Raigeki break. So, yeah, Infinity only has 1 card left, but Pulse Slim only has 3 cards, and they need to both clock Infinity and have stuff to prevent them from just, like, drawing enough to go for another combo. So we'll see if Pulse Slim's able to get aggressive, or if Infinity, like we saw last game, will be able to, like, hide behind a floodgate or something, live long enough to deal these last 3,800 points of damage. Pulse Slim got 3 cards to their name. Just going to go set a monster pass. Looks pretty defensive, but it could be like a Dekoichi or a Spy or something, so definitely not entirely, could be an aggressive play, is what I'm trying to say. Infinity just going to draw pass. Okay. Pulse Slim, yeah, so it was a Spy, so going to get another 1,200 points of damage on the board, and this is a pretty significant clock. 4-turn clock here, going to start. Oh, unfortunately, okay, so yeah, I guess this is smart. So a lot of times decks will side out all or all but 1 copies of Spy against trio decks, because otherwise Spy is a 1-card trio lock if the opponent has it. Now you'd be like, okay, well, why would I only keep 1 Spy in, right? That's because it's actually a very good Mystic lock target, right? Especially because we know the opponent is playing Burn. It's a deck that's just meant to funnel all of its resources into direct damage, so if it can't kill you, then it's basically just a terrible deck, right? So having a lock target for plus 2,000 life, even if on its own it doesn't do that much, is quite strong, and honestly, depending on the 55, you might not have another card to bring in that's better than the Singleton Spy as a walk target. And at least here, it will be used as a nice 1,200 a turn clock as well, which, as we were saying, is very important for Pulse Slim at this point in time to establish. They also have a Tribe-infecting Virus here to make that clock even stronger. And now Infinity very much on the back foot, unless they have, like, exactly Gravity Bind. It looks like they do not. So this is going to be 2,800 damage coming in every turn here against Infinity. And it looks like they do not have a Battle Floodgate just yet to mess with this. Top deck level limit, of course, would be really nice in this scenario. But as things stand, Infinity not in a very great spot. Let's see, though. Going to go set 2 back rows, so we could see some Gravity Binds, could see some spot removals. Also draws for turn. Just going to go straight to battle phase, hidden for 28 again. Yeah, Infinity's going to drop all the way down to 2,400. Now, this is important, too, because now Infinity cannot use Cyber-Stein anymore, and we know that they are on the Cyber-Stein technology. So getting the opponent below 5,000 is a very important breakpoint when you're playing against Stein decks, obviously. And so now one of Infinity's most explosive plays is unavailable to them, which is pretty massive. Infinity going to draw for a turn. Okay, they have Reinforcement of the Army. A card that might look weird in a deck that's running mostly like beasts, but they are running Exiled Force and Last Will, so just getting a searchable will target is pretty nice. And you can also, play some of the standard Warrior 2-block stuff like Mystic Swordsman and DD Assailant, things like that. We're gonna go Rhoda. Oh yeah, we just have no targets for Rhoda though. Yeah, so it's just the Mystic Swordsman and the Exiled. Yeah, so Infinity just not having anything to deal with. Pulse Slim had lethal on board. The one little mini combo was not enough thanks to Pulse Slim's Raigeki break to deal with the Gigantes. And oftentimes against these Rescue Cat decks, or these Stein decks, or the hybrid of the two, if you can deal with the early onslaught, they'll just be out of gas and you can stabilize even if you took a really big chunk of damage. And Pulslim on this Chaos Control list is going to take it down 2-1 against Infinity on Stein Cat. Pretty cool match, pretty cool decks. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will catch you all next time.